etude, Opus 25, number 8.
Okay, please go ahead.
Great. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Very nice. The sound quality from Zoom is not so good today for some reason.
Yes, I know, yeah.
Okay. So yesterday it was better, but there's nothing we can do about that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think you played it very well. It's a difficult etude.
Yeah.
How big is your hand? Can you show me your hand?
No,
Oh, you have,
not that big.
you have a great stretch. Wonderful. Great. You should be playing the octaves is the next one, right? Very good. Well, that's wonderful. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot that I can tell you about it, really. I would say most people probably think you should always keep the triplets, right? Sometimes you play, right? Instead of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you get into this kind, you know, you make duos out of them. Bada, 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 instead of ba, 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 bada, da, bada, da, bada.
Yeah.
Right? So some people don't mind. I don't really mind, but some people do. And perhaps in some competition or so, it could be that you will be criticized for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you played other etudes from Opus 25?
Yeah, it's this one. I haven't practiced for a real long time. So.
Okay, well that's from Opus 10, yeah. Because in Opus 25, number 2, we have the same problem, right? And for instance, in the competition, we had somebody who played it in our competition that was just a couple weeks ago. And this person played it very well, but was playing. Right? And of course, when you play very fast, you don't really notice it that much. Right? You hardly hear the difference. Anyway, one thought would be perhaps, but you know, I could not hear so perfectly. I wonder if perhaps you might want to think about the balance between the hands a little bit more. Okay? That you, because many people play, you're still very young, but I'm sure you have noticed this. Many people play, here is the right hand, here is the left hand. And when they play piano, they both go down. And when they play forte, they both go up. But it stays like this, right?
Yeah.
And it can do all kinds of things. It should always be something you are playing with and being imaginative about how the different, if you're, for instance, if you are playing a fugue or something, of course, it's even more so. But even here, where it's a very much a two voice, right? Even is not uninteresting, right? And sometimes there are places where you might want to bring out the left hand a little bit more. I was thinking, I heard very badly. I think it maybe was Zoom.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe not you. I think it was Zoom. But it doesn't matter, because you know what I'm saying to you now is not meant to be a criticism. It's really more a talk also about elements of piano playing, right? We have many listeners here today who will not be playing. I would like to give them something also. I would ask, would you mind playing it one more time?
Okay.
No? Okay. Maybe I will hear better now. Maybe Zoom will be better. Good. Well, now you've played it twice. You've proved you can play it very well. One thing you could think about, and this is something I believe we should think about in everything we play, is when there is a modulation, when you are in one key, for instance, you start off, right, in B flat major, and then you're later in B flat minor, right? And in this spot, right? And then later on you land in A flat major. Think about changing your coloring a little bit when you get into each key. Okay, you could think about that a little bit. That's again a thing of balance. You see, for instance, often when we go into a minor key, we might want to have a darker balance, right? Instead of you see, you might want to have more left hand, a different kind of balance, right? Depending on how the key, the key that the piece is in is always like the home key, right? It's like being at home.
Sorry.
Doesn't matter.
Just a little bit close.
Don't worry. It's a little bit like just being at home. And when you go into another key, it is like you are leaving home and going somewhere else. And it depends where you go, right? I mean, there are some pieces, they are in a major key. And when you go to a minor key, it gets really sad, right? It might be like going to the dentist or something. But here, for instance, in this etude, when it goes to B flat minor, it's not really sad at all. It's actually quite also, the mood is not so different. But I would still try to do something, because otherwise, even though it's a short etude, it goes all the way through and you feel not so much is happening. So I think it's nice if something happens. For instance, the one time you have in the left hand, the B double flat and the A flat. I would show that it's because it's something that happens in that sense really only one time. You have a dissonant, somewhat dissonant harmony that resolves in that way. So it's like an event that happens only once in the life of this etude. Now it's a very short etude, right? It's sort of like the life of an insect or something. It's very short, but still, if something happens like that only once, I would think about bringing that out a bit. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry I don't have much more to tell you. This is a very short class, but you played a very short piece. You don't have any other short piece you want to play? No?
Well, I got Lavas and Carmen Moskowski. Only these two. It's a pretty long piece.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
Bella,
it's
I
too
don't
long.
know. We need to keep on schedule probably, don't we?
Yeah, so we still
Yeah,
have
okay.
another quite some time. Maybe she can play partially of the long piece or something.
Okay, sure. You'd like to play some of it, or just play it for us, and I will admire it.
We all will do.
Well, we'll all admire it, I'm sure.
And I have the Beethoven Sonata. Wait a minute. First track.
Tempest? Is it a Tempest?
Wait a minute. It's Opus 31 and number 2.
Yes. Well, would you like to play a movement of that?
Yeah.
Or as much as you like. Doesn't have to be a whole movement. Whatever you would like, even.
The first movement. First movement.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Wait a minute. Okay.
Well, thank you very much coming to play that without any warning. And many things were really very, very good about this performance. I liked it. 95% of it very much. I liked it a lot of your Beethoven playing. Well, first of all, you played the recitativos very beautifully.
Okay.
They were very, very good. But generally, your Beethoven playing is very uncompromising. And that's good. Right? One spot that it wasn't is right at the beginning when you have. I would not. I would. This is a little bit weak.
Okay.
I think. If he writes crescendo and sforzando.
Okay, so just straight
I would-
forward like
I would right into it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, because, you know, there are later composers. Maybe if this was by Liszt or Rachmaninoff, you might do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it in Beethoven.
Mhm.
Okay. That's one thing. I'll just mention a few small things because we don't have a lot of time. There are very few things to mention. It was both times when you had you started a new tempo there. I can't even play it as fast as you did. You took like a new tempo.
Okay.
And it's a very interesting question because today we generally say one movement must be in one tempo, right?
Yeah.
Beethoven probably didn't do that. Right? So what's really the answer to it? Well, one thing that is very interesting, if you can get a hold of it, if anybody has it there, is the Schnabel. Arthur Schnabel was a great pianist. He died a long time ago, before I was born. Believe me, that's a long time ago. But he made an edition of the Beethoven sonatas in which he put, you know it?
Yeah, I have that edition.
You have that edition. Okay, so you know all about it, right? Little variations, right? You don't notice when you hear his recordings, you don't notice that it's not all in one tempo. It sounds better than the people who play it in one tempo, but he's very, very intelligent about how he does it. Or if you know the conductor Furtwängler, do you know Wilhelm Furtwängler? He was a conductor at the same time as Schnabel. And one time I was listening to his conducting the Fifth Concerto.
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
And if you set the metronome, you cannot set it for more than 4 bars. It's always changing the tempo.
Yeah.
But it sounds so strong and so right. See? So you can learn over years, you can learn how to do this. But there are obvious spots. I always call them the spots, you know, like this on my shirt, where it's sewn together, you know?
Okay.
And a place like this, you see, if you go, it's too obvious, right?
Okay.
So in those places where the music is sort of glued together, make sure you don't change the tempo there. There are other places you can do it, but I wouldn't do it there. Okay, what else did I want to tell you? When you have this spot, right? This is again a spot where you can listen to your two hands, the two voices that, and because what I hear from you is I hear all right hand, and the left hand is like somebody who is staying at your house, but you don't want anybody to know about it.
Okay.
He's a strange member of your family that you don't want anybody to see. You know, hide him away. Don't hide him away. Your left hand is just as important, and the mixing of the voices is so important. Okay, one more thing. Your largo is very slow. That's okay. That's fine. Be sure that you do really 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, fermata. Right? It's all. If you go that slowly, you have a long time before the next 2. You were slower than this. You were even slower than me now. 2, 3, 4, fermata. See, to me, it seems too long. To me, it seems too long, and so I think you are too slow. But, you know, some people play it. Richter plays it very slowly. Certainly not wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Another spot I was thinking when you have. And so on. I have not played this one on, I think, since 1982. Is that possible? I think it's 1982. Anyway, so my point is, diminuendo doesn't mean already piano,
Okay.
right? I would even this chord still, because it hurts so much. And now piano. And so on, okay? Okay, when you got to here, you were again quite a bit faster, so watch that. Okay, and I'm saying this now not to you because of Zoom, I could not hear it.
Yes.
But I'm saying this to everybody who's listening. Beethoven's piano was very different from ours, right?
Yeah.
The upper register sounded terrible. You know,
Is that called harpsichord? I don't really know that's the name.
No, harpsichord was a different instrument.
Okay.
These were written for a pianoforte, but of course it was much smaller than ours. It was also all made out of wood.
Okay.
There was no metal frame. So the sound was smaller, and the upper register, you know, if you think of things that are going on, you know, in Opus 110, things like that. You know, when you're up here, this sounded like a bad big xylophone, you know, the thing that you hit like this. No, it's just everything very short. The sound did not continue at all. It's really kind of a terrible sound. But for that, playing down here, you must try to get to a Beethoven piano sometime if there's one anywhere near you. I don't know, there probably is, but there will be ones that are rebuilt. You know, I'm sure there's one. I forget, in which city are you?
China, Shenyang, but I don't think we have that instrument.
There's probably somewhere, you know, if you ever get a chance to try to play an instrument. I mean, Beethoven's actual pianos, there are only 3. So there won't be one in Shenyang, of course. But actually, I got the time when I was even younger than you, I got to play once on the Beethoven piano in Vienna. And it was terrible. It's horrendous thinking this was the instrument he wrote this music for. It's hard to imagine. But Mozart and Beethoven often write, you know, Mozart has in the C minor sonata a chord like this. It's in piano. And now on the Steinway of today, or whatever you have, Yamaha, whatever you have, it is right? But on his piano, it really sounded. So he expected when you played with this, that, you know, it would sound like. As if it were up here, the same kind of clarity. So try to play it. He even writes with the pedal on it. This is the other. The pedal in Beethoven's time is nothing like our pedal. Nothing. I can tell you I played a recital on a piano of 1870. 50 years after Beethoven, more than 50 years after Beethoven ever heard anything anymore, or like about 60 years. And even there, you could use like 3 times more pedal than you could ever use today. Just stand on it. So in Beethoven's time, you just could stand on the pedal. It didn't do what it does today. So you must be very careful watching the pedal markings and adapting them to our big instrument of today. Okay? But as I say, I'm not criticizing how you played it. It's just at the end of this movement, we have one of those passages, and it's something that I would like to mention because I've had the good fortune to play on some of these instruments and actually observe how different they are to the instruments we have today. And you know, Beethoven he knew many things. He understood extraordinary things, but he couldn't guess what the piano would be like 200 years later. Even he couldn't guess that, right? And you may know this, and I'll end with this sentence. He once said, I hope that someday the piano and the harp, think of this, the piano and the harp will not sound like the same instrument.
Okay.
That tells you something, doesn't it? Okay, so I'll stop there. Thank you very much for playing. It was a great joy to hear you again. And I think we have to go on to the next person probably, right? Bella, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still there. You just stuck.
We still have a few minutes if you want to hear more. We still have some time.
We still have some time. Okay. Well, I don't have much more.
Oh, okay.
One thing I would just say generally to you is listen to the interplay of your hands more. Okay.
Okay.
Your left hand is not in any way inferior to the right hand, and the music of the left hand is not inferior. Sure, if you are playing, of course we don't want it. Obviously not, but I'm not talking about that.
No, yeah.
But even then, you know, even when you, even then you can show harmonies and the bass lines and things like that. But of course, I'm talking about like in this sonata where even when it's a so-called accompaniment figure, it's really very important. Also, you know, right? That's not something to put in the storage room, right? That's something you want to have really just as important. Okay, that would be, I think, my main comment to you, for to help you in the next step of the development. Okay, great. Okay, so are we waiting for somebody, Bella, or what's happening?
Apparently yes, because Sophia is not here yet because we scheduled 45 minutes each student. So she's probably still practicing. She's online, but I tried to message her. She probably
okay, I forget what time did we start?
It's 8 to 8:45. So it's 2.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh,
yeah.
I see. You still have 6 minutes.
Yes, we do.
Officially. Okay.
So she's still practicing. That's a problem.
People don't practice too much.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
no, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. You know, when I've done like summer master classes, we usually have not had a whole lot of practice pianos because they've been in very nice locations where you can see beautiful mountains and things like that. But the disadvantage has been we don't have a lot of pianos to practice on. And I tell the people, you didn't come here to practice.
No.
Oh, there we have Sophia, I think. Yes?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry, I was practicing, but I haven't said for 2 weeks because I was in a trip, so I have to warm up a bit.
Oh, well, okay. If you couldn't practice for 2 weeks, you are excused.
Yes. Okay, and I couldn't unmute myself, so Bella had to do it.
Yes.
But now I'm ready.
Oh, you're going again.
All right. So, Sofia, maybe you can quickly introduce yourself so we have quite some audience here.
Okay, hello, I'm Sofia. I am a PhD student in Łódź, Poland. And I'm playing today Schumann Noveletta number 8.
Perfect. Thank
Great.
you. Please go ahead.
Sorry, my son was going out of his room and I was a bit scared. If something like that happens, I'm sorry.
That's all right. He's welcome to come and listen then.
Okay.
I'll wave to him then.
Okay, so I just